Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are discussing about the today main topic A3 problem solving. So what is A3 problem solving in lean manufacturing? So every manufacturing company faces problems such as machine breakdown, product defects, delivery delay, material waste and customer complaint. If these problems are solved without understanding their real causes, they are likely to happen again. So A3 problem solving is a structural method used in lean manufacturing to identify, analyze, solve and prevent problems. It encourages people to make their decision based on the fact, data rather than assumption. And the name A3 comes from A3 paper size 297 mm into 420 mm, which is the large enough to summarize the entire problem solving process on a single page. So instead of writing long reports, all important information is presented clearly and logically on the on one sheet. So what is A3 problem solving? A3 problem solving is a systematic step-by-step approach used to identify the root cause of a problem, develop effective countermeasures, implement solution, and ensure the problem does not happen again. It is one of the most widely used in lean manufacturing tools because it promotes clearly thinking, teamwork, and continuous improvement. And why it is called A3? The name comes from A3 size sheet of paper where the entire problem solving process in single documented. The goal is to present information clearly, focus only important facts, avoid unnecessary details, make it easy for everyone to understand the problem and the solution. Objective of the A3 problem solving. The main objectives are solve problems permanently, find the real root cause, improve quality, reduce waste, increase productivity, improve teamwork, standardize improvement, and support continuous improvement like Kaiser. And the importance of the A3 problem solving. So A3 helps organization understand the problems clearly, make decision using data, improve communication, reduce defects, reduce machine and downtime, improve customer satisfaction, save time and money, prevent the same problem from recurring. So the principle of the A3 problem solving. A3 follow this important principle. Understand the problem before solve it, collect fact and data, identify the root cause, develop effective countermeasures, implement the solution, verify the results, standardize the improvement. The A3 problem solving process step by step I will understand. So my first step is identify the problem. So clearly define the problem. Ask what is the problem, what is happening, where it is happening, when does it occur, how often it occurs. Example, a factory produces plastic bottles. Problems 10% of the bottles are rejected because of the leakage. So step two, background. Background. Explain why the problem is important. Example, customer complaint have increased, production cost has increased, rework has increased, and company reputation is affected. So in current situation, step three. In current situation, collect actual data, item and value. So daily production 5,000 bottles, defective bottles 500, leakage defects 300, rework cost 15,000 per day. So observe the process directly instead of making assumption. So step 4, Set the target. Define a measurable goal. Example, correct defect rate 10%. Target, reduce defect from 10% to 2% within 3 months. A good target should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. So, step 5, root cause analysis. So, find the real cause of the problem. Find the real cause of the problem. So, common lead tools are 5 why, fishbone diagram, or cause effect diagram, paradigm analysis. So, example using 5 why problems like water leakage. Why? Because the cap is loose. Why? Because the capping machine does not tighten properly. Why? Because the torque setting is incorrect. Why? Because the operator are not checking the setting. Why? Because there is no standard inspection procedure. Root cause. No standard procedure for checking the capping machine. So step six, step six, step six Step 6, develop countermeasures. Develop countermeasures. Choose solutions that address the root cause. Example, create a standard operating procedure like SOP, train all operator, check machine torque every 2 hours, introduce a preventive maintenance schedule. Then step 7, implementation plan. Implementation plan. So define what will be done, who is responsible, when it will be completed. Example, action responsible due date. So create SOP, quality engineer 5th August, operator training, production manager 10 August, machine calibration, maintenance team 12 August, inspection checklist supervisor 15 August. So all dates are fixed. So step 8, check the results. Measure performance after implementing the solution. Example, before improvement, defect rate 10%. After improvement, defect rate 1.8%. So customer complaint reduced by 85%. Production efficiency improved. So in step 9, standardize. Step 9, standardize to prevent the problem from returning. Up to update SOP, train all employee, perform regular audit, continue preventive maintenance, monitor performance. So step 10, follow up. So continue reviewing the process. Question to ask, how is the problem returned? Are employee following the new standard? Are further improvement needed? Continuous monitoring ensure long-term success. So complete manufacturing example. A company manufacture plastic water bottles. Problem, many bottles leak during quality inspection. Current data, daily production 5,000 bottles. Daily leakage defects 500 bottles. Defect rate 10%. Daily losses 20,000. So root cause analysis, the team observe, process and find. So machine torque is inconsistent. Operator are not check torque setting. No inspection checklist edges. Countermeasures, install a torque monitoring system. Prepare a standard inspection checklist. Train operator. Inspect machine setting every 2 hours. Results, after 1 month, daily defects 100 bottles, defect rate 2%, daily saving 16,000. So customer complaint reduced significantly. Management standardized the new process across all production lines. So one more example in a everyday life example. Imagine your phone battery drains quickly. So instead of immediately buying a new battery, you can use A3 thinking. Problems, battery drains within 4 hours. Current situation, battery uses reports. So one app consumes 60% of your power. Root cause, the app keeps running the background. Countermeasures, disable the background activity and reduce screen brightness. Results, battery last entire day. entire day. This show that solving of the real cause is more effective than treating symptoms. So benefits of the A3 problem solving: simple and structure method, encourage teamwork, improve communication, use fact and data, identify root causes, prevent recurring problems, improve quality, reduce waste, increase productivity, supports continuous improvement, develop employee problem-solving skills, improve customer satisfaction. And the limitation of the A3 problem solving. The limitation of the A3 problem solving. So requires accurate data, take time for complex problem, need teamwork and management support, may not solve every issue immediately. Success depend on finding the true root cause. So difference between A3 problem solving and PDC. So documents the complete problem solving process on one page. A continuous improvement cycle. Focus on one specific problem. Can be used for many improvement activities. Include trend analysis, detailed analysis and action planning. Focus on planning, doing, checking and acting. Commonly used to communicate improvement project. Used to sustain continuous improvement. So difference between A3 and 8D. Lean manufacturing tool. Quality improving solving method. Usually one page report. More details report. Simple and visual. More formal. Suited for daily improvement. Often used to measure customer complaint. And where A3 problem solving is used to. A3 is widely used in automotive industry, aerospace, electronics, food processing, pharmaceutical, hospital, warehouses, logistics, construction, baking, software development, service industry. So key points to remember, A3 problem solving is a structural lead method for solving problem permanently. It is documented on one A3 size sheet of the paper. It focuses on the understanding the current situation, finding the root cause, implement effective countermeasures, and preventing recurrence. It relies on the fact, data, teamwork, and continuous improvement rather than the assumption. It is commonly supported by the tools such as 5-Y, fishbone diagram, and Pareto analysis. So, in short summary, I will explain that A3 problem solving is a structural problem solving method used in lean manufacturing to identify the problem, analyze their root causes, develop and implement effective solution, and prevent the same issue from happening again. So, name after the A3 paper set, it represents the entire improvement process on a single page by the using data, teamwork, continuous improvement principle. A3 helps to organization, reduce waste, improve quality, increase productivity, and achieve long-term operational excellence. And this is my part one video. I will explain in everything. Then one more same type I will explain in part two video, that on PDF type. So this is my part 2 video, and this is the image showing like that A3 page size. So A3 problem solving technique. So see that image. So what is A3 problem solving tool? How A3 tool helps to solve the problem? Explain with A3 problem solving technique. What is A3? Origin and history. Why A3? A3 and PDCA link. Stages of A3 problem solving. And A3 format and how to fill A3 format. Problem solving A3 technique. What is A3 report? So A3 problem solving technique. A3 is a problem solving technique associated with lean manufacturing and using. So A3 problem solving technique can be mapped with the different phases of the PDCA cycle. So A3 is a problem solving associated with A3 is problem associated with lean manufacturing and use continuous improvement impact. A3 problem solving technique can be mapped with the different pages of the PDF cycle. Story behind A3 name. So A3, the term A3 derives from the preferred size used from the report, which is a metric equivalent to 11 into 73 resized paper. And see that the Toyota has several styles of A3 paper: problem solving, project status report, proposal. And how does A3 map with PDCA? Uh, first we will look we will look at all the stages of A3 problem solving methodology, background, and identify the problems on the day, understand the current situation or state, see that image, material flow and material flow, information flow, and first we will look at all the stages of A3 problem solving methodology. Background, all the identify the problems are needed, understand the current situation or state, develop a goals statement. Smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. So first see that image. Let's see that image. So first, we look all the stages of A3 problem solving methodology. Background and identify the problems are needed, understand the current situation or state, develop a goal statement, perform a root cause analysis, countermeasures, implementation, do the page, follow plan, and evaluate the result, check page, standardize and improve, act page. So plan pages that and countermeasures and all those are to check act pages. So this is called as the A3 problem solving technique. So sample A3 report format look like that. Look like that. That's the A3 problem solving format. So this is my part 3 video. So A3 problem solving and continuous improvement toolkit. So let's start about that. A big part of your job is to solve as they come up. Solve the problem and they come up. There are many approaches and tools that can help in the area of problem solving, which is the driving force behind continuous improvement. They range from the more complex Six Sigma methodology to the simple A3 thinking approach. And A3 thinking is a logical and structured approach for problem solving and continuous improvement. And it can be used for most kind of problems and in any part of the business. So A3 problem solving adapted by adapt, adapted by lean organization around the world and developed as part of the Toyota production system, typically caused by lean manufacturing spectrum, provides a system for planning and problem solving and at the same time develops maintains culture for continuous improvement. The power of the A3 approach lies in the systematic and structured method it takes to solve problems. Although it appears to be step-by-step process, A3 is built around to PDC philosophy. Realize on the behalf of that it's much better to address the real root cause rather than trying to find a solution. It is important not to jump to the solution when the solving a problem as it is likely to less effective. It It enables to gather and use data to truly understanding the problem and implement the best corrective action and countermeasures. The practice of the getting the problems, analysis, countermeasures, and action plan written on a single page sheet of a paper. Provide concise summary of the project and consider a good storytelling tool to communicate any project. Typically displayed on a A3 sheet of paper. The name A3 sheet A3 is derived from the international size A3 paper. You do not need a special software or computer skill to use this A3 approach. You may use ready-made A3 template or just a pencil and an eraser as you need to erase, rewrite and several times. The flexibility of the A3 approach makes it an ideal tool for many other applications such as planning, decision making and innovation. One of the characteristics of the A3 approach is that it does not get into specific details. So you do not get overwhelmed. It helps to solve problems at all level of the organization, from strategy to operational. Leaders should ensure alignment from top all the way up the bottom. A3 thinking is not just a problem solving or planning tool. The development of a continuous improvement culture is at the core of the A3 thinking. It has become one of the most popular lean tools today, where the peoples and teams work together to solve problems, share results, and learn from each other. It allows to deal with the problem-solving issue through say single structure, good collaboration, and active communication. It requires it requires the effort of a dedicated team who should use the tool to improve and collaborate. A3 thinking is a way of structuring and sharing knowledge that enables team to practice scientific thinking as their way of discovering and learning together. This is the benefit of the A3 thinking. Provide a structure and a consistent approach to the improvement process, helps to team to gain deeper insight into the problems, allow people to see problems through the same lens, helps to closing the gap between the planning and doing, promotes the collaboration and knowledge sharing, and encourage learning and continuous improvement on every organization level, encourage root cause analysis and the cause of the data, encourage the commitment and to common goals, and strengthen the level of the responsibility, empower the people of the develop and their critical thinking, provide concise, update and a snapshot on the project health. So A3 and A3 process is often managed by an individual who should own and maintain in A3 report, own, lead, facilitate, maintain. He or she should drive the process and encourage the team participation. So he or she will draw up the A3 report with support and input the team. All feedback and idea from the A3 thinking section should be integrated into A3 report. Other key individuals, project owner, process owner, note taker, champion. So make sure you involve the concerned people so that they can help and contribute to the project. Other stakeholders may have interest in the outcome of the A3 project. A champion is more senior leader who works directly with the executive. The drive force behind the implementation ensure the availability of the resource, participate in scoping, review and evaluation, provide recommendation, helps overcome roadblocks, being accountable for results, make sure each A3 project has a facilitator and a champion. A3 thinking provides an effective way to bring together many of the problem solving into a one place. Make sure you use visual and graphics in A3 report. And they take less space and more effective than text is communicating idea or illustrating reports. It is important to utilize a system to allow A3 reports to be shared between teams and departments. And how to implement A3 problem solving. The A3 process usually contains multiple stages based on the PDCA model, plan to check at, and the number of the stages may vary depending on the preference of the company. The exact number of stages is not what matters, but rather having a structured approach for problem solving. So A3 report, problem definition, action plan, project analysis, results. A3 seven stages model, A3 four stages model. A3 thinking process focus on developing understanding of the current situation and where you would like to be before thinking about the solution. So one of the most common model in seven stages. So background, current situation, target, analysis, countermeasures, implementation plan, follow-up. A3 thinking. The first step is to identify the business reason for choosing this problem or opportunity. In this stage, you need to identify the gap in the performance and the extent of the problem and other useful information. Where does it happen? How it is happened? And if there is a pattern or trends, you may use graphs, charts so that the facts visually. Remember that each A3 report should be focused on only one single specific problems or opportunity. The purpose of the stage is to document the current stage of the problem. You may need to refer to the process map to enhances your understanding of any process. Sometimes you need to go Sometimes you need to go to the Gamba to truly understand the current situation. The problem statement should be agreed upon by the team members. The problem statement can be refined and reflect any new learning that take place. Current situation. So A3. So problem statement inside the problem is the gap between the instead purpose of the actual images indicate mainly what it will be affected and where it will be affected, what and where. And it is sometimes written in the following format: the problems it affecting and the impact which should be the brief and specific. So and sometimes you can use 5W2S to the further enhance your knowledge of the problem. Should include background information or goal. Should not discuss the cause or solution. Should be supported with data. There is no right or wrong way of writing a problem statement. So, example of a problem statement: the manual oil refilling process using drum in farming machines in line. So, 4 make it difficult to control oil losses, which may reach more than 4% per drum. So, quality problem categories: quality, cost, delivery, morale, waste, efficiency, health and safety, customer satisfaction. A3 thinking targets how to implement the A3 target. The purpose of the stage is to define desired future state, and goals to clearly identify the expected benefit from solving the problems and implement the solution. Clearly identify the key metrics that will help measure the success of the project. Clearly define the scope of the project, what is involved and what is not. Should clearly define the purpose of the project, should respond to the problem statement, should be briefed, specific goal statement itself includes mainly how much improvement needed by or when, should we agree by all participants, is it often written in the following format, improve from to desire to by the statement, should start with a verb, should be a measurable target, avoid using technical language when written a goal statement, avoid suggesting or assuming a solution. Example of a goal statement. Reduce oil losses of the manual refilling process of the farming machine in line for less than 1% per drop, 13th of the October. The purpose of this stage. The purpose of the stage is to dig into the problem and understand why it is happening. The aim is to reach the root cause and which can be the lead to effective circumference countermeasures. The most common tools that are used in the stage 5Y and fishbone analysis. The root cause analysis may be complex and requires more advanced statistical tools. Avoid jumping to the solution without having a deep understanding of the problem. Once the problem has been identified, it's time to find out the solution to the problems. Countermeasures. Countermeasures are the action to be taken to eliminate root causes or reduce their effects. A solution is a set of the countermeasure designated to resolve the identified root causes. Brainstorm and evaluate possible countermeasures based on the analysis conducted earlier. Cost difficult and time to should be assured before deciding on which one to implement. This stage also involves finding any need quick wins, solve urgent issue and pilot testing. Implementation plan. The achieve the target, develop a workplace plan to implement the countermeasures. The implementation plan consists mainly of the activity list, owners and start and due dates. Other information can be included such as expenses, resources and the status activities. A more detailed implementation plan could be attached to the A3 report. So Gantt charts are the great way to manage implementation plan very simple and easily. Implementation in your plan. Once the action plan is completed, the team should begin working on the action and item to implement countermeasures. A plan is useless without implementation. Inside, discuss the implementation plan with all affected parties and refine it as needed. A dedicated project manager should be assigned to the project. People need to have time assigned to their work, focus on their action items. Regular meetings should be held to oversee the progress and resolve the project issue. Follow up. The final stage allows to evaluate the implemented plan and achievement of the outcomes. Follow-up actions are important to ensure benefit continue beyond the life of the projects. Changes and adaptations should be implemented as needed. So controls measures should be in the place to sustain in the benefits. So example SOP, mistake proofing, regular audit, SPC chart, and visual controls. Constantly update the A3 report based on the progress and a new information become available. So A3 template, project title, background, current situation, target, analysis, countermeasures, implementation plan, follow. And this is a useful question of the A3 report. So this is same thing. So you can read and understand this question. So other information can be displayed on A3 report. So this is the A3 report. So you can maintain this type of report in Excel sheet. So further information, A3 thinking is considered to be practical form of the predictive article. Plan, do, check, add. See, that is the plan, do, check, add model. So plan, background, current situation, target analysis to develop and test countermeasures, quick and urgent issue. Check the effective of the countermeasures, act, implementation plan, follow up, standardize and report and share. And details document are usually attached to the A3 report. Graphs and drawings, technical documents, details plans, team activity documents, before and after photo, performance report, advanced statistical analysis, lesson learned. Avoid being the people at this problem. So this is the A3 thinking. So I will explain in everything. So once you read about that and now how to make this is my part 4 video how to presentation on A3 check sheet. So activities of the overall are so small group activities, Kaizen event, Kaizen. So how to make A3 project management. So what is A3 project management? A3 helps spread a scientific method that focus on individual to observe reality. So present data, propose a working countermeasure designated to achieve the state goal and follow up with a process of checking and adjusting for actual results. A3 work as both a problem solving tool and a structured process for creating a problem solves. Provide a consistent and easy to use approach to solve a problem is an organization. Provides a visual duplication and data and information that allow for easy communication among all concerned. So install of an organization culture of learning to learn. Provide a systematic logical thinking process. Break people's and bad habits. Jump into solution before even defining the root causes. Where and who. Manage can use A3. Manager can use A3. This is A3. Organization can use A3. This is organization use A3. And companies can CI journey. A3 project management. So one page storyboard and 293 and 420 paper. It is called A3 thinking. And the piece of paper is not point. The point is storytelling approach to strategy. And what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What is the project? Project number, project leader, project team, support team, a related project, and data are given. Background. Why are you taking about it? Background. So you can read that one. Background. So current status. uh, where to do things stand today, what is the problem, showing visually using charts, graphs, drawing maps. So goal and targets. So what is the specific outcome are required? What is the specific outcomes are required? So key questions of define. So who is responsible for the issue? Who owns the process for addressing the problems or realizing the opportunity of managing the project? What is the business context? How did you decide to take this problem? What do you actually know? How do you know it? How you gather and verify facts, not just the data and it clearly understand the current state. How you were engaged, other people, what is the problem? Can you clearly and significantly define the presenting the actual business issue that is being held? Have you done with the Gemba? Analyze. So analyze what are the root causes of the problem. Choose the problem in analysis to clearly show the causes and effect relationship. What is your proposal to reach the target condition? How will you recommend the countermeasures after the root cause to achieve the target? Analyze. So analyze. So analyze. So breaking down the problems. The same as you can breaking down the problems. Key question, measure and analyze. How you identify the real problems? Can you show the gap between the targets and the current condition? Did you go to the game back, observe and talk to the people who do the work to fully grasp the current situation? Did you clarify the true business objective? Did you uncover the right that is most meaningful information to support the analysis? Did you isolate the root causes as the main component of the gap? Did you capture the material in the most clear and concise manner? Kind of clarify to invite a analytic question and suggest direct countermeasures. So this is the problems and solution sheet. This is that problem and solution sheet. Implementation plan. What activity will be required for implementing and who will be responsible for what and when. Implementation plan. RAM. Literally translate preparing a ground of the plant. Planting. This is Japanese term and consists of two ideas. Ni and positive Namawasi. Namawasi. So we must pull into the root cause interact can be root cause with the collocation and strand goal. Consensus or agreement does recognize the owner who has submitted the reasonable approach A3 that reflects the engaging the thinking and responsible concern and all stakeholders who agree to support the owner activity. Why should I change? So consensus mean on merit measured goal. Key question to improve. How would we explore every reasonable alternative countermeasures? Have you proceeded by a variable alternative based on the productive countermeasures with everyone doing this work? Have you customer of the process with stakeholder? Can you show how the proposed action will address the root cause of the performance problem? Can you justify why you propose action are necessary? Have you continued to go to the Gemba gathering the new information and countermeasures? Main indicates established benefits. What are the indicators of the performance or progress? What is the estimate saving after implementation of the countermeasures? Key questions of the controls. Have problem solving shifted from quickly fix to root cause countermeasures? Does the current A3 reflect the input of the key people involved with the work? Do countermeasures have support? Do you see where A3 and the work is encompasses? Fits to the A3 of the colleges below and above your work. As the A3 continue to evolve through consistent intern and result the experiment with the initially proposed countermeasures. Are you using PDC cycle to implement the plan and gather knowledge from experiment? Conclusion. So this is the training standardization training plan, communication plan, standardization, deployment, approval by project sponsor or project leader. Key question of the entry thinking. So are you making a concise effort to use the review process and a way of sharing your entry learning with your team member and other individuals? Have you captured the communicated the key details? What are your team has learned? Have you considered a wide set of the potential scenario and consequences of the way changes and developed follow-up activity and address them? Is your A3 theme right for another cool program competition? Should you turn your staff attention elsewhere? Is your team gaining capability of A3 thinking? Are they bringing problem and idea forward for an assignment? Are issue and problem being revised repeatedly? This indicates matters are not being dealt with at the root causes. Are staff still jumping to solution? example of the A3. So this is the example of the A3, and that's all about this A3, and this is my last A3 problem solving method format. So this is a very important format. You can understand and make in yourself. See, that is the format, define format, and this is the measure, and this is the analyze, and this is the analyze. See, that is also analyze potential root causes, improve controls, and problem solving thematic list, define, define, and what are the problems are coming, that one define, and analyze, and again analysis, and again analysis. See, that type of solve tuning. So this is my end of video for A3 problem solving method. Suppose you like this video, you watch in full and you understand is what is A3 problem solving method. So thank you for so much for watching this video. Suppose you are interested in this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much.